Welcome to City English. I'm Cherri. City, C.I.T.Y, stands for Can I Teach You? Can I teach you has two meanings. One meaning is permission. May I teach you? Is it okay with you? The other meaning is ability. Can I teach you? Do I have the skills? Welcome to City English. America, 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 America. Where do I start? This is a cultural video. I'm going to explain why what worked in Korea will never, ever, ever work in America. So it's not direct language teaching, but on the side here, you will learn some vocabulary as I try to speak as naturally as I can after living in Korea for so long. I am American. I am from the suburbs of Chicago, and I have been in Korea for almost 6 years. And there are two main reasons why what worked in Korea with dealing with coronavirus, which I will sometimes call COVID-19, will not work in America. First, we need to talk about individualism and collectivism. Collective means group, and collectivism is where people put group before self. So it means that a group or a person focuses on family or their group of friends or their social circle, and that's number one. Individualism or individualistic societies put self before group. Korea is extremely collectivist, and America is the top individualistic country in the world. Individualism is what we do. In America, it is very important that you show your own ability. So even when we speak, I did it myself. I did it on my own. Oh, she did it herself. She got it for herself. We have to show that we have the ability to take care of ourselves. We also tend to kind of not to be selfish, but we focus on how something affects us and how it's going to change our lives. So in America, we strive to be independent, we strive to be unique, we try to be different. Korea is collectivist, and therefore, before Koreans do something, they think about how it will impact their family, how it will impact their social group, even what other people will think about them. So nowadays in Korea, everyone wears a mask. I wear a mask. It's not necessarily because they want to, and it's not even necessarily that they're like super terrified of getting sick, but sometimes it's because if you're not wearing the mask, other people judge you. Like, you're supposed to wear the mask, so you need to wear the mask because you're supposed to. Americans, I'm fine. I'm not worried. Why should I wear a mask? I'm not worried. Even the American government is telling us, wear masks if you're sick. But if you're not sick, you don't need them. Totally different messages. So because Americans are very individualistic, there's a very non-intentional, but it's I'm not worried about myself. So, or I am worried about myself, but I'm not worried about you.
I get. At the end of the day, I'm not going to let it stop me from partying. I've been waiting. We've been waiting for Miami spring break for a while. About 2 months we've had this trip planned. 2-3 months. So we're just out here having a good time. Whatever happens, happens.
It's really messing up with my spring break.
That means that when it comes to things that we should do as a whole, if I don't want to, I'm not going to. I don't want to wear a mask. I don't like them. They make my face sweat. I'm not going to wear it. Whatever, you'll be fine. Take care of yourself. Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself.
You want me to help, Rose?
No, thank you. No, thank you.
What do you want me to do?
Worry about yourself. Worry about yourself. I'll do this one, so gonna do that. You drive! Worry about yourself. Go drive! Go!
So with coronavirus, We are supposed to be protecting other people, but our first train of thought is to worry about ourselves, worry about our immediate family, not to worry about you, not to worry about other people. So that's number one. So the reason why America can never deal with coronavirus the way China has, or the way Italy is, or the way Korea has, is we are all out for self. And I think that's one thing I've seen from the Trump administration. Donald Trump became president for self, and he has changed our government to benefit himself. He is extremely individualistic. He is the quintessential individualistic, self focused American. And now 350 other 350 million other Americans are going to suffer.
I'm over there, and I like this stuff. You know, my uncle was a great person. He was at MIT. He taught at MIT for, I think, like a record number of years. He was a great super genius, Dr. John Trump. I like this stuff. I really get it. People are surprised that I understand it. Every one of these doctors said, "How do you know so much about this?" Maybe I have a natural ability. Maybe I should have done that instead of running for president. But you know what they've done is very incredible. I understand that whole world. I love that world. I really do. I love that world. And they should be given tremendous credit. And the whole world is relying on us. You know, you hear
within a couple of days it's going to be down to close to zero. There's a chance that it won't spread. It's going to disappear. One day it's like a miracle. Almost everybody that we see is getting better. And it could be everybody, too.
Great job.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your response to this crisis?
I'd rate it a 10.
It's important to remember that no other president in history would have answered a question like that way. Every previous president would have recognized that the question was a test of his humility and his competence at the same time.
America, as most people know, our healthcare system is hot garbage. I'm going to call it hot garbage. And the reason I can call it hot garbage is because I live in Korea. And one reason I do not go home is because Korea's healthcare system is amazing. I get a job, I'm enrolled in the healthcare system, I go to the doctor, any doctor. I just walk into any doctor in any city, and then I see the doctor, and then I pay 6,000 won, or basically $5, and then I go to the pharmacy and I pay $3, and you give me little packets of medicine. First time I went to the doctor, it blew my mind.
I had symptoms. I had not been in contact with anyone that I knew to be positive for coronavirus. And that meant I could not get tested. So I got tested for the flu, which has very similar symptoms, and was negative. I got a full viral panel to see if it was anything else. That was negative. And once that came back, I was told by the New York Presbyterian Hospital that I had to go home and self-quarantine because my symptoms were not bad enough to be admitted into the hospital. And unless you're admitted, you don't get a test. The crazy thing, Nika, is they sent me home, but because I had no known contact with anyone with coronavirus, they told me that I needed to self-quarantine, but that the rest of my family should go on acting as if they are normal, and that anyone that I had come into contact with could continue to go around and live their lives normally. I finally just wouldn't take no for an answer, and I drove at 5 a.m. to Connecticut to get a test that came back positive, and over the weekend. So
Yay, America! A lot of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That means I don't have any savings. I don't have any extra money. So I work, I pay my bills, and then I wait 2 weeks, and then I get paid again, and I pay more bills. We don't have a lot of extra money. And copays are extra money. Prescriptions are extra money. Taking the time off of work to see a doctor, if you don't have time off, is extra money. All of that is extra money. So Americans do not go to the doctor when they're sick.
I do think what's happening though is you have people that are sick, but they don't go to the hospital, or they're not very sick. It's a more minor case, and it could be of this virus. But you have a lot of people that aren't going to the hospital, so we're not seeing those people. And if you did see those people, believe, if you did see these people, the statistics actually become much better because they heal, they get better, they don't see a doctor, they don't see a hospital, they have a problem, they have the sniffles or a cold or all, some of the symptoms, and over a period of time, short period of time, or even longer period of time, they get better.
One of the things that is always very strange to me is as soon as I have a cold, as soon as I feel sick, Koreans tell me to go to the doctor. And psychologically, I cannot do it because as an American, I have to do my best to take care of myself until I cannot take care of myself anymore. Because to me, going to the doctor is an expense, it's time, it's scary. I don't want to know. And so I end up not going to the doctor. A lot of Americans end up not going to the doctor until we are too sick. And then at that point we go. And then at that point it's more expensive because our healthcare system is trash. So with coronavirus, what's going to happen is a lot of people are not going to go to the doctor because the insurance companies are not going to pay for it. In Korea, testing is either free or maybe less than $200. In America, testing is somewhere around $2,000 to $3,000. So if you want to get tested, it's going to cost you. If you're sick, it's going to cost you. There's none, absolutely no motivation for any American to go get tested because it's too expensive. So even if I have coronavirus, I'm going to hide it. I'm going to stay at home and cough and feel crappy, but I'm not going to get tested because I cannot afford to get tested. And if I have an hourly job, if I work at a store, if I have no savings, I'm going to go to work. No, I don't have coronavirus. It's just a cold. No, it's a normal cold. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. And we don't trust our government. I don't trust my government. I live here and I feel very safe here because I can see where the ill people are. But truth be told, I am scared for my home country. Um, I do not have any older relatives. All of my grandparents have passed away. My parents are older, but they're not very old. But I'm scared for my country in a way that I have never felt before because I see how ill prepared we are. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I know it's not going to go well. I know this is not going to end well, not just for America. I think worldwide it's not going to end well, but financially, this is going to be catastrophic. For a lot of families, this is going to be disastrous. The American government is ancient. Our leaders are old. This is going to change the course of my country. And I think the reason this makes me so emotional is that since coming here in 2014 and being away from my country, everything about America has changed. When I came here, America was number one. And now, since Donald Trump has been in office, our racism, our ignorance, our selfishness has been exposed.
He was asked, "Sir, are you worried about Asian Americans living here in the United States or around the world of having actions against them because of this? Are you worried you're being racist?"
Why do you keep calling this the Chinese virus? There are reports of dozens of incidents of bias against Chinese Americans in this country. Your own aide, Secretary Azar, says he does not use this term. He says ethnicity does not cause the virus. Why do you keep using this? A lot of people say it's racist.
It's not racist at all. No, not at all. It comes from China. That's why. It comes from China. I want to be accurate. Yeah, please, John. Please.
Are you comfortable with this term?
I have great love for all of the people from our country, but as you know, China tried to say at one point, maybe they stopped now, that it was caused by American soldiers. That can't happen. It's not going to happen. Not as long as I'm president. It comes from China.
Our standing in the world has been reduced. And as much damage as Donald Trump has done, in my opinion, it was not a disaster. We were all very grateful that in the last 3 years, there hasn't been a huge disaster that has killed thousands of people. COVID-19 is going to kill thousands of Americans. So, I love living in Korea, but at some point I have to go home. And the home I'm going to go back to is not going to look anything like the home that I left. The America I left 6 years ago doesn't exist anymore. And even though coronavirus is going to change the whole world, I never expected America to become what it has become. And it scares me. So basically, America's screwed because our government is screwed and all the infrastructure that we had is destroyed and no one's taking it seriously and we're in trouble. So we don't trust our government. Our healthcare system is trash. We're individualistic. And that is why this problem is going to be so very much worse in America than in Korea. It is going to explode. And even after it explodes, there will never be any real calculation of the number of people who are ill because of the fact that we don't go to the doctor. Okay, bye. Have a fabulous day, evening. Have a fabulous something, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.